The vast emptiness of space stretched endlessly before the human research vessel Odyssey. Stars glittered like distant diamonds, and nebulae painted the dark canvas with faint shades of blue and violet. Commander Ilara Voss stood on the bridge, her eyes scanning the flickering lights on the control panels. The silence of the void was familiar, yet it carried a weight tonight, a weight she could feel in her chest. "Commander, you need to see this," said Lieutenant Rian Tarek, pointing to a console where a small irregular signal pulsed. It was weak, almost like a whisper in a storm, but it was there, a repeating pattern. Ilara stepped closer, her brow furrowed. "A signal here? This sector is supposed to be uncharted. Could it be a rogue satellite?" Ryan shook his head. "No, ma'am. The pattern isn't artificial. It's organic, in a way. I've run the filters. It's intelligent." Ilara's pulse quickened. "Show me the translation attempt." The screen filled with a series of strange symbols, each blinking as though alive. The ship's advanced translation algorithm struggled, piecing together fragments of meaning. Words slowly emerged. "Help. Dying. Urgent." Ilara's hand rested on the edge of the console. "It's a distress call. Someone or something is in trouble." The bridge fell silent. The crew exchanged glances, the gravity of the situation sinking in. They had trained for first contact scenarios, but none had ever expected to stumble upon one in such a remote corner of the galaxy. Rian broke the silence. "Commander, we don't know the origin. It could be a trap." Ilara's eyes narrowed. She had faced danger before, both in exploration and conflict. But hesitation was not an option. "If it's a trap, we'll be ready. But if it's real, we can't ignore it. Set a course to trace the signal source." The crew moved quickly, the hum of the ship's engines filling the air as Odyssey adjusted its trajectory. The path would take them beyond known space, past asteroid belts and gravitational anomalies. Yet every human aboard felt a spark of excitement. This was the essence of humanity: curiosity, courage, and a desire to do what others might fear to attempt. As the ship sailed deeper into the unknown, the signal grew stronger, more urgent. Ilara stood at the observation deck, staring at a distant blue and green planet partially obscured by swirling clouds. The planet's surface glowed faintly with signs of energy. Cities, life, she could not tell yet. "Commander," said Dr. Lyra Sen, the ship's chief scientist, her voice tinged with awe. "The energy readings are unusual. They're consistent with a civilization, but their technology is different. Advanced, yes, but fragile. Something catastrophic must have happened." Ilara nodded. "We'll find out soon enough. Prepare the landing teams and scanning drones. I want eyes on the surface before we descend." As preparations began, tension mingled with anticipation. The crew's chatter was low but focused. Humans worked best under pressure, adapting quickly, thinking clearly. Every member of Odyssey knew that first impressions could define the outcome. One wrong move could mean disaster, but one smart choice could save countless lives. Hours passed as the ship approached the planet. When they finally entered the upper atmosphere, the view was both beautiful and terrifying. Vast stretches of ruined cities stretched across the surface, smoke rising from jagged spires and crumbling towers. Lightning arced across dark clouds, illuminating streets littered with debris. Yet amidst the devastation, faint lights pulsed like heartbeat signals. Survivors. Ilara's stomach tightened. "Ryan, status report. Scans show multiple population centers. Most of the energy grids are failing, but some sectors are still functioning. The inhabitants are scattered. Their defense systems are offline. They are vulnerable." The vulnerability stirred something in Ilara, a mixture of duty and determination. Humans had faced extinction-level threats before, on worlds far from their home. They had survived because of quick thinking, cooperation, and relentless courage. This world deserved the same chance. "Deploy the drones," Ilara ordered. "We need reconnaissance. Let's find out exactly who or what we're dealing with." The drones swarmed downward, weaving through ruined cityscapes. Live feeds filled the bridge with images of alien architecture, tall, crystalline structures that reflected the stormy skies, and strange vehicles that appeared broken or abandoned. Among the ruins, small figures moved, avoiding the drone's cameras. They were humanoid in shape but had elongated limbs and translucent skin. Their eyes glowing faintly reflected fear and confusion. "They're alive," whispered Dr. Sen. "But barely. They're hiding. They're afraid." Ilara clenched her jaw. "Fear is natural. But we're here to help, not to frighten them further. Ryan, prepare a team for ground contact. Minimal show of force. We go in as diplomats, not conquerors. As the landing party prepared, sensors aboard Odyssey detected unusual readings. A massive fleet emerging from the shadows near the planet's orbit. Massive ships, dark and angular, moved with precision and purpose. The Deathworlder fleet, Alara froze for a heartbeat. Humanity had stories of the Deathworlders, merciless conquerors who crushed civilizations with terrifying efficiency. They believed strength was everything and mercy was weakness. A single Deathworlder ship could devastate a city. A fleet, entire worlds could be erased. They've noticed us, said Rian, his voice tight. They're scanning for life signs. They know we're here. Alara's mind raced. There was no time for hesitation. Prepare defensive shields, she commanded, her voice steady despite the growing tension. We can't outrun them, but we can outthink them. Humans have faced impossible odds before, and we've always found a way. The landing team descended in sleek, reinforced pods. They cut through the stormy atmosphere, touching down in a ruined plaza. The aliens watched from the shadows, their glowing eyes wide with cautious hope. Commander Alara stepped out, hands raised in a universal gesture of peace. The alien creatures blinked, whispering in a language that the human translators slowly began to decode. Help! Save them, one of them said, voice trembling. Alara nodded, her heart pounding. We're here to help. You're not alone anymore. Behind her, the ground shook faintly. Asteroid debris in orbit or the Deathworlder fleet closing in? It did not matter. Humans had faced impossible odds, had survived disasters, and had turned weakness into strength, through courage and intelligence. Alara turned to her team. We stabilize them. We save them. And we prepare. The Deathworlders won't wait long, but we will be ready. The first part of this journey had begun. Not just a mission of rescue, but a test of human resilience, ingenuity, and the ability to inspire hope in the face of annihilation. The stars outside seemed brighter now, as if reflecting the determination of those aboard the Odyssey. Above all, one truth shone clearer than any star. When humanity chose to act, it acted with heart, strategy, and an unstoppable will, and the universe would soon learn that even in the darkest corners humans brought light and courage where none existed before. The ruined world beneath the Odyssey stretched endlessly, a tapestry of destruction and faint glimmers of life. Commander Alara Voss stood at the edge of a shattered plaza, her boots crunching on glass-like debris. The alien city around her had once been magnificent. Towers of crystal and metal reflected the stormy skies, but now many were cracked or collapsed, smoke rising from broken streets. It was a scene of despair, yet faint light still pulsed in the distance, proof that some had survived. Dr. Lyra Sen knelt beside a small device, scanning the alien energy sources. Commander, the planet's infrastructure is failing. Power is intermittent. Many systems have completely shut down. Alara nodded, her gaze shifting to the shadowed streets. Movement caught her eye. Small figures slipping between rubble, watching them cautiously. They were the inhabitants, the ones sending the distress signal. Humanoid in shape, their bodies elongated, limbs delicate yet purposeful, and their translucent skin glowed faintly in the dim light. Their wide, luminescent eyes held a mixture of fear and hope. Alara took a careful step forward, hands raised. We are here to help, she said slowly, letting the translators convert her words into the alien language. The words sounded strange to human ears, a soft and melodic cadence, yet the meaning was clear. One of the aliens emerged cautiously from the shadows. Its form shimmered faintly, and its voice trembled as it spoke. Help. Before they return, before all is lost, Ilara's heart tightened. We will help. We need to know what happened. The alien gestured for them to follow, leading the humans through narrow, cracked streets to a central hub that had once been a command center. The building was partially destroyed, yet inside a faint hum of machinery persisted. Screens flickered with fragmented data, and maps of the planet glowed weakly. Dr. Sen approached the screens with a mixture of fascination and concern. Their technology is advanced but damaged. It's clear they've faced an overwhelming attack, but they aren't completely powerless. The alien, who introduced itself through translation as Tellerin, explained the catastrophe. The sky fleets came, ships of fire and shadow. They destroyed our defenses. We survived only because we scattered. Many are gone. Ilara felt a surge of determination. Humanity had faced extinction-level threats before, and each time humans had survived by thinking faster, moving smarter, and refusing to give in to fear. She turned to her team. We stabilize them. We help them rebuild defenses, and we prepare for whatever comes next. They are alive now. That is enough to fight back. The humans immediately began work. Engineers set up portable power units using human ingenuity to patch damaged circuits. Scientists shared knowledge with Talaran, teaching energy rerouting, resource optimization, and basic tactical defense strategies. Every action demonstrated humanity's adaptability, turning ruins into a temporary hub of hope. As the day passed, other alien survivors emerged from hiding. Families, small groups, and individual scouts cautiously approached the humans. Their trust grew slowly, fueled by the humans' calm confidence and clear intent to help rather than dominate. The alien language, once foreign and intimidating, now sounded like a bridge forming between two civilizations. Meanwhile, orbiting sensors detected the Deathworlder fleet advancing toward the planet. Massive ships moved with silent precision, dark shadows against the starry backdrop. The fleet was designed to crush resistance swiftly, leaving nothing behind. Humanity's initial assessment suggested overwhelming odds, yet Ilara did not flinch. "They underestimate us," she said, voice firm. "They think weakness is easy to conquer. They haven't met humans before." Lieutenant Ryan Tarek, monitoring the fleet, nodded grimly. "They are larger and more organized than we anticipated. Their firepower is immense. If we don't act smart, this planet could be gone before we even finish helping the aliens." Ilara's gaze returned to the streets below. The aliens, once scattered and frightened, were beginning to organize under human guidance. Temporary shelters were built, energy systems patched, and defensive barricades constructed using both alien and human technology. The first test of humanity's approach came quickly. A Deathworlder scout ship appeared suddenly, streaking across the sky. Its energy beams struck nearby structures, scattering rubble. The humans and aliens reacted immediately. Using debris as cover, they lured the scout into a trap set with improvised energy disruptors and human-calculated trajectory predictions. With a brilliant flash, the scout was disabled. Alien survivors stared in awe at the humans' daring and strategic thinking. "They fight differently," Talaran said, admiration in his glowing eyes. "They do not fear what is strong. They see opportunity where others see only danger." Ilara nodded. "That is what makes humans human. Adaptability, courage, and the refusal to surrender." As night fell, the humans gathered with the aliens in the central hub. Holographic maps displayed both the ruined city and the advancing Deathworlder fleet. Ilara spoke quietly but firmly, her voice carrying authority and reassurance. "They will come, but we are not defenseless. We have knowledge, preparation, and unity. If we fight together, we can survive." Dr. Sen projected energy patterns and potential strategies onto the holograms. "We can use the city's layout. Narrow streets, debris, and remaining structures can slow their ground forces. Energy redirection can confuse their scanners. And their fleet, while powerful, is not invincible. We can disrupt their formations if we act precisely," the alien leaders whispered among themselves, exchanging uncertain glances. Their civilization had not faced such direct threats for centuries, and yet these humans, strange in form and manner, were offering guidance with calm confidence. Slowly, fear began to shift toward determination. Ilara observed the change with quiet pride. Humans were often underestimated across the galaxy. Many thought them weak, unorganized, or impulsive. But in situations like this, those same humans demonstrated clarity of thought, courage, and an ability to inspire allies to rise above fear. The next morning, the humans and aliens worked together to fortify the city further. Temporary shields were installed around key population centers, and energy disruptors were placed along likely approach paths. Scouts patrolled the outskirts, and communication relays allowed the aliens to coordinate across the city for the first time in days. Ilara walked through the streets alongside Talaran. "How does it feel to see your people working together again?" she asked. Talaran's faint glow pulsed faster, a sign of excitement or nervous energy. "It is new. We had forgotten how it feels to organize, to hope. Humans, they remind us of something we had lost." Ilara smiled slightly. "That is part of what humans do. We survive, we adapt, And when others falter, we often give them courage to stand again. Hours later, a larger vessel from the Deathworlder fleet appeared in orbit. Unlike the Scout, this ship carried dozens of weapons and a visible landing force. The humans and aliens held their breath as the dark shadow loomed above. Alara turned to her team. This is it. Remember what we've prepared. We fight smart, not blindly. Protect the people, protect the city, and show them what it means to face humans who refuse to back down. The ground trembled slightly as the ship descended, the first signs of an imminent attack. But instead of panic, a quiet resolve settled over the humans and aliens. They had spent hours building defenses, organizing survivors, and sharing knowledge. The Deathworlders expected weakness, but they would find strategy, ingenuity, and courage instead. As the ship's landing ramps extended, Alara raised her hand in a signal to begin the operation. Drones took flight, defensive systems activated, and humans positioned themselves alongside alien allies. Together, they became more than rescuers. They became a force capable of standing against overwhelming odds. Above all, the humans knew one thing: fear could not rule them. Humans had faced impossible challenges across the stars, and they had always found a way to survive. Now on this shattered world, their resilience and cleverness would be tested once again. And for the first time in many cycles, the alien survivors looked to the humans with hope, not just hope for survival, but hope for victory. The signal that had brought the humans here was answered, but the answer was not simply aid or intervention. It was a demonstration of the human spirit, clever, brave, and unyielding in the face of danger. The stage was set. The Deathworlder fleet was approaching, and the first true clash of wills would soon begin. Humanity was ready, and they would not fail. The sky above the alien city burned with energy. The massive Deathworlder ships loomed like dark mountains in orbit, casting long shadows over the ruins below. Commander Alara Voss stood on the reinforced terrace of the central hub, scanning the horizon with her binocular sensors. Her jaw was tight, her mind calculating every possibility. "They're moving faster than expected," Lieutenant Rian Tarek reported. "They're coordinating their landing vectors with orbital bombardments. The first wave will hit in less than 10 minutes, Alara nodded. "Good, then we'll be ready. Activate the drones, start the energy disruptors. Use the city layout to our advantage. Remember, they expect fear. They will not expect strategy." Below, alien survivors scurried into temporary shelters, their nervous movements guided by human instructions. Makeshift barricades had been constructed in the narrow streets, while energy shields flickered to life around critical population centers. Despite the fear, the aliens moved with surprising coordination, encouraged by the humans' calm confidence. Dr. Lyra Sen stood beside Alara, her tablet showing orbital scans. "Commander, their main landing force is splitting. One group is descending near the eastern sector, another near the northern towers. They're trying to divide us. Then we divide them first," Alara replied. "Ryan, coordinate the drones and energy disruptors. Use the eastern sector to lure them in. The northern sector will be ready for their next wave." The first Deathworlder dropships tore through the sky, their engines glowing red against the dark clouds. Energy beams struck the streets below, shattering structures and sending debris flying. Panic threatened to break out among the alien survivors, but human voices, firm, controlled, guided them to safety. Alara led a small team into the eastern sector. Using the city's narrow streets and collapsed buildings, they set traps for the advancing Deathworlder troops. Energy disruptors flashed intermittently, creating blind spots in the enemy's sensors. When the first soldiers arrived, they were met not with chaos but with precision. Humans and alien allies coordinated ambushes, striking from cover, retreating and striking again. The Deathworlders were formidable, their armor and weapons designed for conquest. Yet the humans' unpredictability frustrated them. Where brute force failed, cunning and flexibility succeeded. A squad of alien defenders, guided by human strategy, managed to disable one of the dropships using a combination of energy pulses and magnetic field manipulation. From above, orbital bombardments continued, shaking the streets with thunderous force. Alara remained calm, issuing orders through comms. "Focus on mobility. Keep them off balance. Use the environment. They can destroy buildings, but they cannot predict our strategy if we keep moving." As the first wave faltered, The Deathworlder fleet adjusted. Massive ground units emerged from the dropships, moving with precise coordination. Their approach was relentless, yet the humans had anticipated it. Barricades, traps, and strategic positioning slowed their advance. Alien allies, inspired by human courage, fought with determination, learning tactics in real time. Alara watched a group of aliens flank an enemy unit, using debris and collapsed structures as cover. "Exactly like we practiced," she said softly. "Adapt and move. Every step counts," Lieutenant Rian pointed to the skies. "Commander, their orbital support is being disrupted. Our energy pulses are effective." Alara allowed herself a brief smile. Humans had a history of turning environmental challenges into advantages. Here, on an alien world, they did it again. Natural energy anomalies, storm patterns, and magnetic fields were all leveraged to confuse the Deathworlder's sensors. Where brute strength was expected, cleverness prevailed, but the battle was far from over. The Deathworlders regrouped, bringing in heavier artillery and more soldiers. Alara realized that while the humans and their allies had slowed the enemy, they could not sustain this indefinitely without a decisive move. She turned to Ryan. "We hit them where they are rigid. Predictable formations, overconfidence. We strike their command units and force chaos. The rest will follow." Ryan nodded, understanding instantly. "We can use the northern sector. It's narrow and funnel-shaped. Their formations will be trapped." Alara moved quickly, coordinating with Dr. Sen to create a concentrated energy field along the northern path, drawing the Deathworlders into a controlled trap. Alien defenders positioned themselves along key choke points, ready to strike once the enemy entered the trap zone. When the Deathworlder soldiers moved into the narrow streets, the humans activated the energy disruptors. The enemy's sensors flickered, armor systems malfunctioned, and their formation broke apart. Ambushes from above and the sides hit with precision. Humans and alien allies attacked from multiple angles, combining strategy and courage to overwhelm a far larger force. Amid the chaos, Alara led a daring boarding mission onto a disabled dropship. Using magnetic grappling units, she and a small team clung to the hull, entering through weak points in the armor. Inside, systems were deactivated and the Deathworlders found themselves outmaneuvered at every turn. The aliens watched from the ground, awe in their eyes. "They fight differently," Talaran whispered. "Not with sheer force, but with thought, adaptation, and courage. I have never seen such tactics." Alara moved swiftly through the ship, issuing orders to her team. "Disable their communication systems. Confuse them. Every second counts." Within minutes, the dropship was neutralized, a clear signal to the approaching forces that the humans were not to be underestimated. Outside, the tide of battle was changing. Where once the Deathworlders had seemed unstoppable, now they struggled against a combination of human ingenuity and alien adaptation. Humans had transformed fear into strategy, chaos into opportunity, and weakness into strength. But victory was not guaranteed. The Deathworlder fleet still held massive forces in orbit, and their reinforcements were relentless. Alara knew that the key was not just defeating them, but teaching the aliens to survive and fight alongside humans. Every human action became a lesson, every maneuver a demonstration of resilience. As the battle raged on, energy beams streaked across the city, explosions shook the ground, and smoke filled the streets. Yet amidst the destruction, humans moved calmly, their eyes scanning for opportunity, their minds calculating risks and advantages. Alien allies, inspired by the humans' courage, began to fight with newfound confidence. They adapted strategies, coordinated attacks, and held the line where panic might have prevailed before. Alara's voice came over the comms, firm and clear. "Remember, focus on unity. Protect each other. We may be outnumbered, but we are not outsmarted. Use your minds. Move quickly. Adapt constantly." By the end of the day, the first massive wave of Deathworlder forces had been pushed back. Casualties were heavy, but the city remained standing. Humans and aliens alike were exhausted, yet the morale was high. For the first time in cycles, the alien survivors felt hope. Hope that their civilization could endure. Hope that the human visitors were more than temporary saviors. Hope that courage and intelligence could overcome even the deadliest threats. Alara stood on a high terrace looking at the horizon. The Deathworlder fleet had not been destroyed, but it had been slowed, delayed, and disrupted. humans had demonstrated why they were feared across galaxies, not because of raw power, but because of adaptability, courage, and the relentless will to survive. Talaran approached, his faint glow pulsing rapidly, a sign of excitement and newfound confidence. "Your people! They are remarkable. We thought we were lost, but now we see a path forward." Alara smiled faintly. "That is what humans do. We face impossible odds and we find a way, not alone but together, and now so can you." The battle was far from over, but a lesson had been learned. Humans did not simply fight. Humans adapted, humans inspired, and humans survived. As night fell over the shattered city, the aliens gathered with the humans to regroup, heal, and plan. Each life saved was a victory. Each strategy executed was proof of the human mind at work. And above all, the Deathworlders would learn that this planet was no easy conquest. Commander Alara Voss knew that the coming days would be even more challenging. The fleet would return with heavier forces, more calculated strategies, and ruthless determination. Yet she also knew this truth. Humanity's courage, intelligence, and resilience were unmatched. Wherever humans set foot, they turned adversity into opportunity, fear into strength, and hopelessness into determination. Tonight, they had survived. Tomorrow, they would fight again. And the universe would continue to see why humans were both respected and feared. The clash of wills was only beginning. The shattered city of the alien world glowed faintly under the pale light of its twin moons. Smoke still curled from the ruins of the recent battle, and the ground bore the scars of intense energy strikes. Yet amidst the devastation, hope was growing, a fragile but determined hope, nurtured by human leadership and courage. Commander Alara Voss stood in the central hub, overseeing the coordination of humans and alien survivors. Screens flickered with maps, energy readings, and orbital scans of the approaching Deathworlder fleet. The enemy had retreated for now, but they would return, and they would be better prepared. Alara's voice was calm but firm. "They will come again, and we must be ready. Every street, every building, every survivor must have a role. Strategy, unity, and adaptability will decide this battle, not sheer firepower." Lieutenant Rian Tarek nodded. "We have stabilized the city's energy grids, Commander. The shields are operational, and the alien fighters are learning quickly. They are willing to follow our tactics." "That is good," Alara said. "We cannot just survive. We must show them that resilience and strategy can overcome even the strongest foe." Dr. Lyra Sen projected holographic simulations of the enemy's likely approach paths. "Their fleet is massive. They will attempt coordinated orbital strikes again, but there are natural anomalies we can use: magnetic storms, asteroid belts, and planetary energy fluctuations. If we combine human planning with these environmental advantages, we can reduce their effectiveness." Ilara studied the holograms. "We also need to make the aliens more self-reliant. Teach them to adapt on their own. This is not just about defending the city. It is about ensuring their civilization survives." Over the next hours, humans and aliens worked side by side. Humans taught alien engineers how to repair energy shields quickly, reroute power, and create improvised defensive systems. Alien fighters learned tactical maneuvers inspired by human combat principles, using cover, flanking, ambushing, and predicting enemy movements. Every lesson reinforced the HFY principle. Human ingenuity could inspire and elevate others, even in the darkest times. As the first signs of the Deathworlder fleet appeared in orbit once more, humans and aliens were ready. Massive ships loomed above like dark storm clouds, while dropships descended to test the city's defenses. The humans' drones moved swiftly, scanning the enemy's formation, and energy disruptors blinked to life along predicted approach paths. Ilara addressed the Allied forces. "Focus on coordination, predict their moves, and don't panic. We fight as one. The Deathworlders expect division. We give them unity. They will find us unpredictable, adaptable, and unyielding." The first wave of Deathworlder forces hit the northern sector, where humans had prepared traps and choke points. Alien fighters flanked the enemy, striking from positions humans had identified as advantageous. Energy disruptors disoriented the Deathworlders' sensors, while human engineers directed power surges to disable their armor systems temporarily. In the eastern sector, the enemy attempted to outflank the city, Alara led a small team of humans and aliens in a daring maneuver. Using collapsed buildings and debris as cover, they struck the enemy from unexpected angles. The combination of human tactics and alien agility proved devastating, slowing the enemy's advance and buying time for civilians to evacuate. The Deathworlders, known for their rigid structure and confidence in overwhelming power, began to falter. Their formations broke apart under the unexpected adaptability of the humans and their allies. They had anticipated fear and panic, but instead they faced precision, coordination, and creativity. Alara moved through the battlefield, guiding both humans and aliens. She reminded them to remain flexible, to adapt as the enemy shifted, and to use every environmental advantage. They fought not only with weapons but with strategy, timing, and intellect. "Use the upper levels of the towers," she shouted. "They cannot reach you there easily. Strike from above." Alien fighters climbed the crystalline structures, their translucent forms glowing as they fired energy pulses down at the advancing Deathworlders. The humans coordinated drone strikes to create diversions and disrupt communications. Every action was synchronized, a dance of courage and intelligence that the Deathworlders had not anticipated. Meanwhile, Dr. Sen monitored the orbital battle. "Commander, their fleet is becoming disorganized. Energy readings suggest they are expending too much power trying to compensate for our traps and disruptions. If we continue to exploit these weaknesses, we can force a retreat." Alara nodded. "Then we apply pressure. Every strike must be calculated. Every move counts." Hours passed. The city became a maze of controlled chaos, with humans and aliens working seamlessly together. Civilians moved safely through hidden corridors, guided by human volunteers who had trained them in evacuation and protection. Every act, no matter how small, contributed to the larger strategy of survival and resistance. As the sun, or its alien equivalent, began to rise, the Deathworlder fleet paused for a moment. They had underestimated humans before, and now they faced the consequences. Despite their numerical advantage, their rigid tactics were failing against unpredictability, strategy, and unified determination. Alara gathered the leaders of the alien survivors. "You have fought bravely. You have adapted quickly. But this is only the beginning. The Deathworlders will return, stronger and smarter. We must continue to work together, learn and refine our defenses. Survival depends on unity, creativity, and courage. Humans will stand with you, but you must also stand for yourselves." Talaran, glowing brightly with a mixture of pride and hope, replied, "Your people, they have shown us that fear does not have to rule us. We can fight, we can survive, and we can rebuild." Alara smiled faintly. "That is what humans do. We survive, we adapt, and we inspire others to do the same. You are not alone anymore. Together, we are stronger than anything that comes for us." The humans spent the next cycles reinforcing defenses, training the aliens, and preparing for the inevitable return of the Deathworlder fleet. Every street became a potential advantage, every ruin a tactical opportunity. The city was no longer just a place to survive. It had become a symbol of resilience, strategy, and hope. When the Deathworlders struck again, the humans and aliens were ready. Massive waves of enemy ships attempted orbital bombardments, while ground troops descended in well-coordinated attacks. But each move was countered with precision. Humans used the city's unique geography, energy anomalies, and improvised technology to create confusion and disruption. Alien allies, now confident and trained, fought with courage and intelligence, using tactics they had learned from humans. The battle was long, intense, and exhausting. Yet for every inch the Deathworlders gained, the humans and their allies found a way to reclaim it. Civilians were protected, strategic points were fortified, and energy systems were rerouted to create new defensive opportunities. By the end of the engagement, the Deathworlders were forced to retreat once more, their fleet damaged and their confidence shaken. Humanity had once again turned an overwhelming threat into a manageable challenge through ingenuity, courage, and coordination. Alara looked over the city from the central hub, her heart swelling with pride. Humans had not only survived, they had inspired an entire civilization to rise above fear and fight with intelligence and courage. The alien world was battered, but it was alive, and its people were stronger than before. "We've shown them what humans can do," Alara said softly. "But this is only the beginning. The next wave will be bigger, stronger, and more dangerous. We must continue to learn, adapt, and prepare." Victory comes not from brute force but from unity, strategy, and resilience. Talaran approached her, eyes glowing steadily. Your people. They have given us hope. Not just for survival, but for our future. We will remember this lesson, Alara nodded, and humanity will continue to explore, to aid, and to inspire. This world is safe for now, but we will be ready for whatever comes next, always. As the sun rose higher, casting light over the city and its resilient inhabitants, humans and aliens alike took a moment to breathe, recover, and rebuild. They had faced unimaginable odds, survived a relentless enemy, and forged a bond that would endure, and above all, humanity had proven once again why it was both respected and feared across the stars, not for the size of its fleets, but for the strength of its mind, courage, and heart. The stage was set for the final confrontation. The Deathworlder fleet would return, and the ultimate test of human ingenuity and allied unity was approaching. But for now, on this battered world, hope burned brighter than any weapon, an unyielding flame that promised survival, resilience, and victory. The sky above the alien city was dark with the shadow of the returning Deathworlder fleet. Unlike their previous attacks, this time they came with overwhelming force, hundreds of ships, bristling with weapons glinting like cold stars of destruction. Commander Alara Voss stood on the central hub's observation terrace, her eyes scanning the vast enemy formation. She did not flinch. They've learned from last time, Lieutenant Ryan Tarek said, his voice tense. Their formations are tighter, more coordinated. Their ground forces are better equipped. Alara's gaze was steady. Then we show them why humans are feared across galaxies. This is not just survival. This is humanity at its finest, strategy, courage, and unity. Prepare the defenses. Every human, every alien, every resource we have will be used to turn this tide. Dr. Lyra Sen projected holographic battle simulations. Commander, if we apply concentrated energy surges along these gravitational anomalies, we can disrupt their fleet coordination. Combined with tactical ambushes on the ground, we can create chaos in their ranks. Good, Alara said. We use every advantage, the environment, our technology, and the courage of every fighter here. Today we fight not just for survival, but to show what humans can accomplish when they refuse to back down. The humans and aliens worked together seamlessly. Civilians were moved to underground shelters, guided by volunteers who had trained them in safety protocols. Drones hovered overhead scanning enemy movements. Energy disruptors were positioned along streets, rooftops, and abandoned towers. Alien fighters, now confident and skilled, prepared alongside humans, their glowing forms reflecting determination. The first strike came without warning. Deathworlder ships fired from orbit, energy beams cutting through the city. Explosions shook the streets, sending debris flying. Yet humans remained calm, issuing orders with clarity. The shields held, partially absorbing the blows, while energy disruptors emitted pulses that interfered with enemy targeting systems. Ilara led a rapid response team into the eastern sector, where a massive drop of enemy soldiers landed. Narrow streets funneled the attackers into traps carefully prepared by humans and aliens. Energy pulses disoriented their sensors, and flanking teams struck from unexpected angles. Every movement was calculated, every strike purposeful. From above, orbital anomalies created by the humans' energy manipulations caused the Deathworlder's ships to lose formation. Missiles veered off course, targeting systems flickered, and communication channels were disrupted. The Deathworlders, confident in their overwhelming power, were caught off guard. Ryan monitored the tactical displays. Commander, they're struggling to coordinate. Their fleet is fragmenting. This is our chance, Ilara nodded. Then we strike where they are rigid, predictable. The command units. Disrupt them, and the rest will follow. A small team of humans, led by Ilara herself, used magnetic grappling units to board a key Deathworlder command ship. Inside, the team moved swiftly, disabling communication relays, redirecting power, and sowing confusion. Every step was precise, every action deliberate. The Deathworlders had expected brute force, but they faced cunning, adaptability, and human ingenuity. On the ground, alien fighters mirrored human tactics. They used cover, ambush points, and coordinated strikes, turning streets into traps. Humans moved alongside them, sharing real-time instructions, adjusting strategies as the enemy shifted. The city, once broken and fearful, had become a fortress of hope, strategy, and determination. Hours passed. Explosions lit the sky. Energy beams cut through clouds and the sound of battle echoed across the city. Yet humans remained calm, focused on coordination and adaptation. Every failure of the Deathworlders was a lesson. Every advance of humans and aliens was a demonstration of unity and courage. Dr. Sen reported over comms, excitement in her voice. "Commander, their fleet is beginning to retreat. Damage reports indicate massive system failures. Their troops are disoriented. We have the advantage." Ilara raised her voice to rally the fighters. "Push forward. Keep pressure on them. Show them what happens when they underestimate humans and their allies." The Deathworlders' retreat became a full-scale withdrawal. Massive ships disengaged, some damaged beyond repair. Ground forces faltered, overwhelmed by traps, strategy, and coordinated counterattacks. The humans and aliens had turned what seemed like certain defeat into victory through courage, intelligence, and unity. Talaran approached Ilara as the battle's end became clear. His glowing form pulsed with pride. "Your people, they are remarkable. You have not only saved us but taught us how to fight, how to survive, how to hope again." Ilara shook his hand firmly. "Humans have always survived impossible odds. But the greatest strength is inspiring others to rise above fear. You are ready now. This world is yours to rebuild and protect." As the sun, or alien equivalent, rose over the city, survivors emerged from shelters. The streets were damaged but alive. Humans helped guide reconstruction efforts, showing techniques to repair energy grids, stabilize buildings, and organize defenses. The alien population, once scattered and fearful, moved with confidence and unity. Ilara gathered the leaders of the alien civilization for a final address. "You have faced a great threat and survived. Today, humans fought alongside you, but the real victory is yours. You have learned courage, strategy, and adaptation. You are capable of defending your world and building a future. Humanity will continue to explore the stars, and wherever we go, we hope to meet others who are willing to rise to the challenge of survival and growth." The alien leaders bowed in respect, gratitude shining in their eyes. Talaran stepped forward. "We will remember this day, Commander, not just for the battle, but for the hope, guidance, and courage you have given us. Your people, they are more than warriors. They are teachers, leaders, and friends." Ilara smiled faintly. "That is what humanity strives to be. Courage, intellect, and compassion. Never forget that survival is not just about strength. It is about unity, strategy, and the will to keep moving forward, even when the odds are impossible." The remaining Deathworlder forces retreated into the depths of space, beaten and humiliated. Their attempts to dominate the alien world had failed, not because of overwhelming firepower, but because humans and their allies had used strategy, adaptability, and resilience. As the weeks passed, reconstruction began in earnest. Humans assisted in restoring energy systems, teaching the aliens to manage resources efficiently and defend themselves against future threats. Streets were cleared, buildings repaired, and communication networks re-established. The city, once on the brink of destruction, began to thrive again. Ilara and her team prepared to leave. The alien civilization was now capable of defending itself, inspired and trained to survive in a universe full of danger. Before departure, Ilara addressed the assembled population. "Humans will continue our journey across the stars. We leave you with knowledge, strategy, and hope. Your future is yours to shape, but remember, courage, unity, and ingenuity are the keys to survival. You have proven yourselves capable today. Carry that forward and your world will flourish." The aliens cheered, their voices filled with gratitude and determination. Children, who had once cowered in shelters, now played in the streets, inspired by the humans' bravery and teachings. Adults worked together to rebuild, guided by strategies learned in the heat of battle. As the Odyssey lifted off, Ilara gazed at the planet below. It was scarred yet alive. The aliens were alive, and their civilization was ready to endure. Humanity had not only saved lives, but had sparked a renaissance of courage, ingenuity, and unity. Ryan came to her side. "Commander, they will remember this day. Humanity's name will echo across this system for cycles." Ilara nodded, eyes still on the planet. "And we will continue to explore, to help, and to inspire. Humanity's purpose is not just to survive, but to bring hope and resilience wherever we go. Today we proved that again, and tomorrow. We will face new challenges, new worlds, and new opportunities to show what humans can accomplish." As the Odyssey sailed into deep space, Leaving the recovering world behind, Alara felt a quiet sense of fulfillment. The battle was over, but the story of courage, strategy, and survival would live on, not just among humans, but in the hearts of those they had inspired. Above the stars, humanity's reputation grew. Not as conquerors, but as thinkers, leaders, and survivors. The universe had witnessed once more that humans, with their ingenuity, courage, and unyielding will, could face even the most formidable threats and emerge victorious. And for the aliens whose lives had been saved, the lesson was clear. Survival was not just about strength or weapons. It was about strategy, unity, and the courage to rise above fear. Humanity had shown them that, and in doing so had left a mark that would endure for generations. The stars stretched ahead, full of challenges and unknowns. But humanity moved forward, ever curious, ever brave, and ever ready to face the impossible. The universe had learned a truth it could never forget. When humans acted, hope followed. And when hope followed, even the darkest threats could be overcome.